Hey everybody, James Clark, Broker Century 21 All Clark. I'm coming at you today to do a little bit of a deep dive on the state of the real estate market. What's coming, what you could possibly expect for the rest of 2024. But first, I wanted to color it with some perspective. And yeah, it's obvious perspective that you know, but it needs to be said. Clearly, we're in unprecedented times, not just in the real estate space, because everything else that's going on impacts the real estate space. I was on vacation recently, out of the country with my family. And the time that we were gone, we had an assassination attempt on a former president. The sitting president decided he wanted to no longer run. All of these things sent shockwaves through our entire political landscape and society in general. We had the largest global cyber outage in history. By the way, that cyber outage was really telling to me. Wasn't that really concerning to you? I was literally supposed to fly home on the day of the outage, and instead I was stuck in a different country for days on end, no communication, no end in sight. And how I watched the airlines handle things and how disorganized it all was, it really was concerning to me. That event really showed me how vulnerable not just our travel systems are, but all systems and markets. And I gotta tell you, these last 2 weeks have made me feel like I'm in a movie that just isn't real. Now, when you add all that to inflation and just not moving fast enough, the Federal Reserve not dropping, job growth stagnating, potentially even getting worse, there's just not a good outlook for the near future. Now, this was supposed to be a year that we were supposed to ride the back of several multiple rate decreases. However, the Fed's just not doing that. I don't even know if we're gonna see one. And if we do, maybe they'll drop by a quarter point or so. That's not really gonna move the needle, right? I'm sure you get that. Speaking of not moving the needle with buyers, buyer sentiment is really low. As a matter of fact, I would say it's at an all-time low in the real estate market. Buyers are currently being really demanding while also canceling contracts at record levels. I hope all of you understand this. If you're a seller in the market today, you need to be prepared, okay? Now, good news is there's still enough demand out there if you're thinking of selling your home, but you really need to be prepared. It's a completely different market. It's difficult. It's not what it was 2 years ago. And all kidding aside, now more than ever, you gotta have a competent agent at your side. Oh yeah, by the way, no need to worry about geopolitical tensions, war, Hezbollah, all this conflict, Israel, Russia, Ukraine. Look, Captain Obvious, I know, I get it, right? But these factors contribute to a complex and really unpredictable economic landscape that I feel it's going to impact our markets invariably. It's not an if, it's when, okay? Now, let's focus on the US residential real estate market. According to the National Association of Realtors, let me bore you just a couple seconds with some stats. Existing home sales fell 5% in the month of June. Now here's the scary part, seasonally adjusted rate of 3.89. It's a 5% decline, but listen, we are usually well above 5 million annually. That's over 1 million sales we've lost nationwide. Now, the good news is we're at an all-time high median sales price-wise. I don't know if that's good news because that's impacting adversely affordability, but to put things into better perspective, now something all of you probably already know right now is inventory levels are rising. Nationwide, they're up a handful of percent, bringing the total to 1.32 million unsold homes in the US, and it's even worse here locally. Inventory is shifting. We're shifting from a seller's market to a more balanced or even buyer's market. Homes are starting to stay on the market now a little bit longer. Right now, it's not terrible. It's 22 days on average, but there's other areas where it is cooling pretty significantly. In the luxury sector, demand remains pretty strong, but it really is subjective to where. And that is particularly different for properties that have more space, privacy, all that good stuff. High net worth individuals continue to invest in luxury real estate and they see it as a stable asset, even in market volatility. So that market's always going to do well. However, the pace of price increases is slowing, and that's reflecting change even in the luxury market. Now, in the commercial real estate market, we really see a mixed bag, and that's me putting it nicely. Office spaces are facing higher vacancy rates. It's not changing because remote work, it just continues. It's incessant. This is a serious problem, by the way. I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but COVID has really wrecked things. I hate this work from home concept. It's really impacting our commercial markets, but don't get me started on what it's doing to our country, in my humble opinion, overall, what it's doing to work ethic. I know, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm sure many people can do well, but I don't like it, okay? I don't like it. So, now, industrial and logistical properties are in high demand due to the rise of e-commerce, which is good. Retail spaces are slightly recovering. Urban areas they're really facing challenges There's lower foot traffic, there's changing consumer behavior, decreasing buyer sentiment. And obviously this is all very dependent on, where in the US you are, but the commercial sector it's in trouble. And it's concerning me greatly. And another sprinkles on this is what's going on with our community level banks. Those are the people that fund our commercial sectors, and they're really hurting too. So of course, that's making it more difficult to fund new development, SBA, small business. You get where I'm going, right? Now, some of the numbers I just gave you came from the National Association of Realtors. But I also like to look at things like Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is a stalwart when it comes to their forecasts. A recent Fannie Mae housing report indicates that stronger expected home growth in Q2. Home prices rose a little bit, 3% in the second quarter. And while this growth is expected to moderate, according to Fannie Mae, prices are looking to still go up 6% in 2024, 3% in 2025. Now, they acknowledge mortgage rates are slightly declining, hopefully, but affordability remains a really significant issue, and Fannie Mae is they're zeroing in on that. And I agree, and I think it's fair to say that we have an affordability crisis on our hands. And I just don't see a lot of good answers on the horizon for first-time home buyers and people that just don't have large sums of money to put down. Now, Fannie Mae also notes regional disparities, like particularly with the Sun Belt areas, they're experiencing a surge in inventory levels. And this is leading to a softening of prices. Meanwhile, the Northeast and Midwest, they're tight with their supply. Now, these regional variations are crucial for understanding these local market dynamics. For example, here in some of our markets here in Central Florida, inventory is up 60 to 80%. That is huge. It's a monstrous number. And since I'm talking about Florida, let's quickly review how the Sunshine State, and Central Florida itself particularly, is doing. Florida continues to attract buyers from across the country. That hasn't changed. And that's helping keep markets competitive, but it's also kind of doing some damage. You can really see some trends on the coastal markets. Now, the Florida Association of Realtors reported a 3% increase in inventory, but again, it's much worse, much bigger in different areas. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but like I said, let's take a look at some more Central Florida-based counties. For example, Seminole County, inventory is up 78%. Orange, 63. Volusia, 60. Lake, 63. Those numbers are huge, right? They're really big. And that's causing homes to stay on market, do price drops, and values are gonna slide. And there's a lot of sellers giving up, a lot of homes expiring, okay? Now, look, I don't mean to paint a vision of doom and gloom. It's not that. But I wanna be very clear. This market is not 2 years ago. It has changed. And I don't know if we're gonna go back to the market of 2 years ago anytime soon. All of us have to be prepared for the new norm. There's still plenty of buyers out there. There's still cash out there. Financing is more normal. Bidding wars, not so much. Every now and again it happens, right place, right time, right price. But here's the message. The market is still good. Values hopefully will continue to creep up. And as long as values are going up, it's never a bad time to sell. It's never really a bad time to buy. It's all in who you have helping you and how you go about doing it. That's key. All right, listen, I've rambled long enough. I'm sure you can appreciate, man, everything's changing. I don't like what I see. So if you're thinking of getting into the market, if you're thinking of doing something, do it sooner than later, okay? Because you just don't know. What if rates increase? What if your ability to purchase your first-time home becomes impossible? What if values decline and you're a seller? Right now, I'm going with the bird in the hand type of strategy, right? We know what we know now. We know the landscape, and you at least have an understanding of it. You can wrap your head around it, and that's what I suggest you guys do. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're fence sitting, that's okay too. I understand. But if you're fence sitting and want to have a rigorous debate about it, give me a call. All right, listen, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the icon if you'd like more updates on the real estate market and trends. And if you have any questions, just reach out, please. Send me a call, text, email. I'd love to help. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless.